Title of this video is People that Gaslight and Invalidate Your Emotions. Have you ever been in a situation in which you expressed a feeling, a situation, and you said, let's deal with that. Let's fix that. Can you help me to resolve the conflict? And the first reaction to that was, you're being dramatic. You're being too sensitive. You're being too difficult. That's your problem, not my problem. Fix it yourself. Get over it. Suck it up. Why do you make such a fuss? Why do you care? Can't you see that I'm busy? Are you not being selfish? Can you give me some space? Can you leave me alone? Do you have to be so difficult? You know, and on and on it goes. Whatever these people tell you, they can also tell you, I don't like your bad vibes. I'm good vibes only. You know, we've all heard these phrases. We've all known at least one person who has done this. But who are these people? Why are they doing this? Well, it's usually somebody who's emotionally unavailable. Their body is no different from your body. First of all, you need to understand that if you're experiencing an emotion, which is a reaction to the environment, every single person in that environment, if they are even in the most minuscule amount paying attention to you, they will feel what you're feeling. Guaranteed. Unless they're an alien. Every person in the environment, as you, they will feel what you're feeling. I know this sounds terribly controversial. You've probably never heard this before. You're probably thinking like, really? But they're not acting like it. How is this possible? You see, humans have a nervous system. And this nervous system has something called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is an extremely sensitive apparatus. Can sense even the tiniest vibrations. The tiniest, the most subtle clues. Whether the person wants to be aware of it or not is irrelevant. The vagus nerve is noticing what you're feeling, and it recreates this feeling inside the body. You don't need to be psychic, you don't need to be a witch, you don't need to be a magician. You have a vagus nerve. They who are gaslighting, who are emotionally unavailable, who are dismissing your feelings, who say, I don't know what you mean, they have a vagus nerve too. That means if you feel something and if you are reacting or responding to that feeling and you're communicating that feeling to that person, their body has already registered before you even opened your mouth. Their body is already aware of it. They already experienced what you're experiencing. And yet, they open their mouth in response and they say, what do you mean? You're being difficult. Cut it out. Your problem, not my problem. Meanwhile, their body is experiencing what you're experiencing. But they are saying, speaking with their words, I don't know what you mean is your problem. So how is this possible? How can people be so opposite to themselves, to their body? It's simple. Trauma. Trauma splits, fragments. It separates. It divides. You know the saying, divide and conquer? If you want to control a human population, you must divide them. But first, you must divide them from themselves. So people who are suffering from emotional neglect, who have suffered childhood abandonment trauma of severe proportion, they will abandon their own body, their own inner child, themselves, their own vagus nerve responses. They will ignore and dissociate from them, and they will live in a delusional false reality in which they pretend that these feelings don't exist. So what happens if you're engaging with somebody who's delusional and you say, "Hey brother, I'm feeling something. Are you feeling it?" And they say, "No, it's you. You have a problem." Don't take it personal. Don't go into this reaction of, "What's wrong with me? Why am I feeling something that doesn't exist? Am I a lunatic?" This victim stance. No. They are delusional. You are not. Why? Because the body doesn't lie. You see? That's the silver lining. That's the beauty. That's the hope. That's the good at the end of a tunnel. No matter what you feel, it's all real. It's all true. Your body will never create a feeling that isn't based on something that is actually happening in reality. Your mind may project the past, sure. Your mind may project they're gonna be angry when they're not angry. But the vagus nerve, the feelings in your body, the feelings of the present moment, your body will not fake that. Your body is not dysfunctional. It's not malfunctioning. Okay, it's you can you know when they slap you on your neck. No, the brain is working properly. Okay, you're not crazy. So when somebody says you are crazy, you are delusional, the feeling doesn't exist, it's you, what they're actually saying is, I feel what you're feeling, but unfortunately I don't like that feeling. I have never learned how to regulate my emotions. Therefore I learn to dissociate and pretend that it doesn't exist. And I get really nervous. I get really insecure. I get really uncomfortable when you come along and you bring reality to my fantasy. When you address a feeling that I do not have the capacity or the will to deal with. In order to deal with this, unconsciously, I will accuse you of being delusional to maintain my fantasy world that you are threatening. That is what the emotionally unavailable person is saying. That's what the gaslighter is saying, if they were honest with you. Very important. Very important to know this. So, the next time somebody tells you you're being difficult, you're being sensitive, you're being a bad vibe, blah, 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 ask yourself, am I responding to a feeling in my body? Am I representing this feeling without dramatization or exaggeration? Am I accurately, perhaps neutrally, am I logically and rationally representing the feeling inside my body? Am I embodied? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then ask yourself, okay, so I'm embodied. Good. I'm functioning properly. That's what I like to do. Slap yourself on the head, because cut it out. You are functioning properly. Now the other person who is with you, are they functioning properly? Are they embodied? Are they connected to their emotions? Look at them. Observe. Don't listen. Don't. It's not about the words they say. It's their body language. Can you see it? As they are struggling to fight the feeling that you are not fighting. As they struggle to maintain a facade and a freeze response to something that you're not freezing against, that you're not fighting. As they're struggling to regulate the anxiety and the insecurity that they feel, which they are pretending doesn't exist. Can you see it? Because the body doesn't lie. But the person does. Their words lie, because that is what a gaslighter does. They try to pretend that their body, their needs, their emotions don't exist. So somebody who is not embodied, how are they going to react when they see somebody that is embodied? You're embodied? Who are you? Why are you doing this? What is happening? Can't even correlate. Doesn't even understand where you're coming from. Doesn't even speak the same language. It's like you're dealing with an alien. You're dealing with somebody who's not operating in reality. Because their body is in reality. You can see it. Their face is flushing. They have redness on their face. Their body is getting the jitters. There's adrenaline pumping through their veins. And yet they say, I don't know what you mean. Why are you being so difficult? While they're getting the jitters like this. Have you ever seen that? Because I see it all the time. All the time. The body doesn't lie. Learn how to read the body. And trust what you're feeling. Because you need to do something. And that's very important, so listen up. You need to separate yourself from your body. I know this sounds opposite to what I've been saying, but listen. Language is a bit weird, so you need to separate yourself from your body, and you need to look at your body as a machine that functions perfectly. Perfectly. Can you do that? I know, it may be difficult to do, but because we've been conditioned, we've been told, no, you're mentally ill, blah, blah, blah. But can you separate yourself from your body and act as if everything that the body says has a meaning? But everything that the body feels is based on reality. Whether you understand that reality, whether you know how it works, why it is like that, irrelevant. But the body feels something, senses something, 10 out of 10 times, it's true. No ego, no self, just you looking at your body like a machine. The machine is functioning perfectly. So, That's what you need to do in a relationship. When you are in a relationship with somebody who is a gaslighter or not, if you just have a conversation with somebody and you are wondering, am I crazy? Well, separate yourself from your body. Is your body still sensing something? And the other person, how do they respond to that? Are they in denial? Are they refusing to see what your body sees? You have completely removed your ego out of it. You completely detached. You don't care. It's just your body says there's something wrong. And they, how do they react? No, you're crazy. Okay, you're telling me I'm crazy, but my body is sensing this. Can you explain it? You cannot. Okay. But what do we do now? Are we just going to pretend that it doesn't exist? Are we going to join the fantasy world of a gaslighter? No. We're going to develop the capacity to communicate what we're experiencing and what we're feeling. It's not personal. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about biology. The body says something's wrong. If you, aka the other person, doesn't have the capacity to deal with the biology without your ego, without need to control what is happening here, without the controller, if you can't do that, you're not capable of having a relationship with anybody, not even yourself. Libra in astrology. That is Libra. Libra is balance. Libra is harmony. How do you maintain harmony? By removing that which causes disharmony and division, which is the ego. This is biology. This is the body, like a scale. This is the body. The body does this, the body does that, because all the body is interested in is balance. All the body is interested in is fulfilling its needs. So if you cannot cooperate with my body, if you cannot find a way to make your body cooperate with my body, there's one of two reasons. Either you are incompatible with me, in which case, no problem. You can go somewhere else. I can go somewhere else. We part ways. No issue. Or number two, we are actually compatible. Our bodies do match, but you're delusional. You are pretending that what is happening in your body isn't happening. And you're trying to convince me to believe it. And that is what we call gaslighting. So, why am I saying this? Because most people have no idea that this is what's going on. Most people have no idea that what we're interacting with is the body. And the body is always right. Never wrong. Okay, never. So if somebody has a problem with what is happening in the body, they're delusional. That simple. Every gaslighter that ever existed is delusional. Every person that ever said you are difficult, you are this, you are that, 9 out of 10 times they are the problem. And they are living in a fantasy world. So it is ironic, really. Because the one who is living in reality, the one who is embodied, the one who is connected to their needs and emotions, aka you, hopefully you, if not, that's fine, but you can learn. aka you, the person living in reality is never ever, or at least rarely, suggesting that the other person is delusional. But the person who is actually delusional, who is actually split from their body, they accuse other people of being insane. Isn't that interesting? So if you know somebody who has a pattern of insisting that you are mentally ill or that other people are insane, are they a mental health practitioner? Are they a specialist on psychology? Do they have a third eye so open that they can always see that people are delusional? Are they really that smart? Are they really that hip on the knowledge? Because chances are they're not. And if they're not, they're probably the one who's delusional. So yeah, that's just my opinion on this topic. Gaslighting. It's a funny term, because essentially it's just about denying your reality, which means denying what is happening in your body. Unless you are in your head and you are acting on your head. But why would somebody do this? Who does this? Who acts in their head? A narcissist. Not normal people. So the fact that gaslighting is so prevalent and so many people are doing this, it's like everybody is suggesting that everybody is delusional all the time, which of course is possible. It's possible that people are delusional. I mean, if you look around, it's not surprising. But instead of recognizing what's going on, people are being accused of being delusional when they're just listening to their body and reacting to what their body is saying. So that's a problem. Because then we have learned that indeed we are being difficult. Indeed we are being the problem when we're saying something. So there's an enormous fear. There's an enormous anxiety around communicating what the body is doing internally. So often, what happens internally stays internally. And people who gaslight others, these are people who have lived their whole life internally, always feeling things, experiencing things, but almost never acting on it. And the moment they see somebody else acting on it, they can't deal with it. They can't even deal with themselves. How are they going to deal with you? So this is why it's an emotionally unavailable person. Whether it's a narcissist or an avoidant, it doesn't matter. It's always the same. Emotional unavailability is at the core of it. Somebody who's emotionally intelligent, somebody who's wise, somebody who can regulate their feelings, who has the capacity to be there for you, they're never gonna gaslight. They're gonna be like, I wonder why you're feeling this. Can you explain? Can you help me understand? Somebody who is healthy wants to understand what you're feeling. Because they learned understanding, cooperation, that is regulation, that is healthy. But somebody who has always been shut down, who has always been suppressed, who has always been imprisoned, they have no idea what co-regulation looks like. So if you try to regulate your emotions together in unity with the other person, they're going to feel like, oh, you want me to help you? How dare you? You're so selfish. Because the reality of the matter is, the other person is completely trapped in the devil. worship, in separation consciousness. They can't see that humans are interdependent. They work together. This person has learned emotions, you deal with that on your own. This person has never learned that people fix things together. So this is usually the parentified child. This is somebody who's counter-dependent, avoidant attachment style, a narcissist, a psychopath, a schizoid, a schizophrenic, a God knows what. Whatever label you want to use, doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, it's just somebody who sees people as divided, as islands, who's living in isolation, who has never shared their inner world with other people. Somebody who avoids intimacy because that's associated with abandonment. So the person is trapped in a heavy, heavy character armoring. This armoring is so heavy, it's taken over like a demonic possession. This is what I call devil worship, for a good reason. Because the person is addicted to their armor. They're addicted to living in fear. Because to allow yourself to be vulnerable, to even entertain the possibility that you could work together to sort things out, that's stepping outside of fear. And that is something that the person is not really interested in. Now, you can, of course, tell them all of this. You can raise their consciousness and awareness. But how many people, even after they are aware of all of this, are going to change? That's the question. I don't know. Because if you are me, I know, me is a bit special, but if you are somebody who knows all of this, if you are completely hip on the knowledge, if you are a master of psychology, let's say you know exactly what to say to a person when you're engaging with a gaslighter, you know exactly how to explain all of this to them, do they listen to you? Do they care to hear what you have to say about their lack of awareness, their suffering and misery and fear that they are perpetuating? Are they interested to hear about that? No. You will fall on deaf ears. So what you're dealing with is not just a lack of awareness. It's not just a lack of knowledge. It's far more insidious than that, and far more evil. And we're not having this discussion now, do we? We're not talking about this at all. No YouTube videos, no people online. I don't know who's admitting the fact that there's something wrong with people. And people need to understand that lack of awareness, that's number one. But it's not everything. There's more. Because it's in the nervous system. It's in the body. It's not just mental. Yeah, you can give mental, rational explanations. But until you have dealt with a problem at the nervous system level, at the level of the body, you're not changing anything. So this is what I'm doing. This is what I recommend: somatic embodiment, somatic experiencing, working with a felt sense and focusing. Check out these terms if you haven't already. And if you're interested in working with me, in working through the body and its character armoring, you can book a consultation with me. You can find out more information in the description down below, and then my links and my services on my business page. But in any case, if you like to know more about this topic and see more videos like this in the future, please leave a like and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.